and they need to get a bit of momentum going into that.
Also, at the bottom, Dundee can be relegated today. Stephen Craigan is at Motherwell against St Mirren, whilst Connie McLaughlin is watching Dundee against Hamilton. We'll call in with them just before kick-off, but how do you see this one panning out? Dundee relegated?
Yeah, Dundee have had it's a playoff spot, the 11th spot, which is interesting. St Mirren have hit a bit of form as of late. Hamilton, every season I think they're going to go down, and somehow they survive. So I think they play each other next week, St Mirren and Hamilton, if I'm right. That's going to go a huge way to decide that 11th spot.
OK, and 2 Premier League games kicking off at 3 o'clock, Mark.
There are. We're just going to have a look at the Premier League table as well after what's happened last night and also this lunchtime as well. So Everton beat Burnley by 2-0 last night. And Bournemouth won Tottenham 0. Bournemouth played most of the second half with 9 men. It's beginning to look as if it really is going to go to the last day before we know who is going to get third and who is going to get fourth. So have a look at the table here. Amazingly, Tottenham have lost 6 games in a row away from home. We're going to speak to Peter Walton about the decision of Craig Pawson to send off Son, to send off Foyth. Maybe Eric Dyer could have been sent off as well. It was a pretty controversial game on the South Coast. Let's have a look at the bottom of the table as well. As we know, Brighton in action tomorrow at Arsenal. Cardiff kicking off in our late game. That's what we want to concentrate on now. Cardiff can close that gap to 1 point. Were they to beat Crystal Palace at home? It's a game you can see live with us here on BT Sport. And Jake Humphrey is in South Wales with all the early news.
Yeah, afternoon. Thank you very much. Welcome along to Cardiff. Listen, when you've played 36 games in the Premier League and your goal difference is minus 36, you know it's not been a great season. So what are we going to have today? For Cardiff, it's either the end of what's been a kind of drawn-out farewell to their year in the Premier League, or it's the beginning of the great escape. Whatever happens today, it's going to be a rather animated Neil Warnock right here as he tries to guide this club to safety after what has been a difficult season. Make sure that you join us from 5 o'clock for all the build-up to Cardiff up against the Crystal Palace side, who are already safe. And, of course, at half-time in the 3 o'clock kickoffs, we'll check in with you as well. But have a good afternoon.
We certainly will. A couple of games